Burnley 0, Arsenal 2, and Arsenal make it 7 games in a row without conceding a goal. What a fantastic stat that is. The rest of the Premier League must be looking at Arsenal and saying, what do we need to do to score against this defence? It is absolutely mind-blowing. As a football fan, honestly, it is going to be very difficult to break Arsenal down. Burnley didn't even have a shot on target. Obviously, the free kick at the end hit the post, but they didn't even have a shot on target at home in Turf Moor. I know Burnley are not the best example to face Arsenal in the Premier League itself, but let's be honest, you expect a team to have at least one shot on target when they had 0. That is absolutely nuts. And let me just talk about the set pieces, the corners. How Declan Rice is delivering them is absolutely insanity. The back post cross is always on. There's always a chance. There's always movement. And look, the way that Arsenal's players, they flood the back post and make their move at the right, precise moment, it means they're working on this time and time and time again on the training ground. It looks like goal-scoring opportunities with every single corner. Even the commentators were saying, oh, here we come, another corner, another Arsenal corner, because they know it's going to be like that every single match against every single team. And I wish that Real Madrid had the set-piece coach for Arsenal. I wish, because honestly, it is absolutely crazy what Arsenal are doing on every single corner, even every single set piece. The one that was passed out and then the floated ball in from Zubimendi, that was new. That was another take on another corner, a different style, and it just creates opportunities. You don't actually have a clue where the ball is actually coming from. Obviously, from Saka's end, from Declan Rice, you know the players that are taking it, but you don't know the direction, the trajectory, or how deep the corner is going into. And look, anyone can say that it's just Set Piece FC, it's Stoke City FC. Let me tell you something. If your team had this in their locker, you wouldn't care. This could be Man United fans, this could be Liverpool fans, this could be Man City fans, Real Madrid fans, whoever it is across the world of football. If you had that in your locker, you'd be wishing for corners on games. Factual. Because it is just jealousy. Let's call it as it is. It's a jealous approach because Arsenal have worked out that their corners essentially, on every single time they take them, are literally looking like penalties. That's how it is. Because they're scoring a plethora of goals from corners. And if they're not conceding any shots in the reverse end, none at all against Burnley, then so be it. All they need to do is just score a goal and defend the rest of the match. It may be a negative approach, but Arsenal playing in the very first half anyway, they were moving the ball slick. Very, very good. And the way that they scored the second goal, Declan Rice's header, honestly, the counter-attack was unbelievable. How they carved open the pitch. Trossard, obviously, with a floated-in ball, and Declan Rice with a pinpoint header. Not only is he doing assists, but he's doing goals as well. And you just need to say, is Declan Rice one of the best holding midfielders in the world? Probably. Is he the best holding midfielder in the world? Probably. Because I know as a Real Madrid fan, we have too many, but Declan Rice does more. He does much more. When he's taking corners as well, if Arsenal are not successful, this guy is sprinting back like an Olympic track athlete. Getting back, this guy's stamina is unreal. And he gives me PTSD of last year's Champions League, scoring those free kicks against us. Absolute PTSD. This guy, honestly, is a world-class player. I didn't think so when he was originally joining from West Ham. Honestly, I didn't think so. But He's proven time and time again, especially in this match as well, getting the goal. And, well, actually not the assist because the corner came in and then, obviously, it was floated back into the box for Gyökeres to score, who I will get onto a second. But it is absolutely a sensational game from Declan Rice. Probably man of the match with, I would say, Zubimendi as well. Zubimendi and Declan Rice today, they were controlling and bossing their midfield. They made Arsenal tick from the centre of the park. And Trossard as well had a very good game also. But let me get onto Gyökeres as well, because Gyökeres came off half-time. I'm sure he's being rested, obviously, for Champions League as well, which is obviously a very good call from Arteta. And Gyökeres, as a player, unreal today. Unreal. He was always in the right positions, especially in that corner, how he got floated in, hit back into the box, and then finished off by Gyökeres. He was in the box always to feed others into the game as well. And he's gradually getting better in terms of his first touch, how he's moving the ball as well, on the side, on the wings as well, in terms of delivering it out to Saka or whoever's playing on the left wing. And it just gives you a absolute nightmare. When you have Gyökeres and you have Saka, you have players like Trossard, you have obviously Declan Rice, and it just gives nightmares to other people's teams, honestly. Because you're just looking at Arsenal now and saying, okay, can they really, truly win the Premier League from here? Because they go to Burnley. Burnley's one of the toughest teams to go to away. We know that already. Turf Moor has always been known as that. But today, I would say they made easy work. They made easy work. Obviously, in the second half, Burnley came a little bit back into the game. I think the substitutions from Burnley in terms of Marcus Herdwords and also Hannibal coming on gave them a bit more room to work with in terms of beating a few players and trying to deliver the box into dangerous areas. But honestly, apart from that, nothing much. I know how low Burnley are in the table, but you're always expecting a team like that to turn up at home, especially Burnley at Turf Moor. And Arsenal made easy work of it. Easy work. It wasn't difficult by any stretch of the imagination. It was easy. And you saw Saka today working with Gyökeres as well. And there's certain things about those two I think will work really well in terms of the season. Because Gyökeres is a physical beast. We know that. How he can shrug players off, hold his markers essentially off the ball as well. Divert the attention away from direct passes or through balls. That is what Gyökeres' job is to do in a match. So if he's going to be like that, and he's going to be like this in terms of how he played against Burnley in the rest of the Premier League season, then all the teams at the top flight are going to have major issues because he is a true physical specimen, a very, very good athlete, and can work the ball now, seemingly so, with Arteta maybe trying to fit him into this mold where he is going to be also a target man that can feed other players into the game as well. And that is just simple. You can't look at it anywhere else different than that. There's always going to be a situation where I would say Gyökeres is going to be a danger man at any given time in the game. Not like Haaland, I would say, is not that level as of yet, but he can be a danger man at any point, any cross, any opportunity where the ball is fed directly into the opposition box, and he can hold off a man and then score. Turn, shoot. Maybe feed someone else in, but that is his aim, and he's going to do it excellently well for Arteta. Believe me on this one. And it just now begs a question. Where does Arsenal go from here? Obviously, with Arsenal's Champions League run and the Premier League run, and obviously Carabao Cup, and then later on the FA Cup, can they compete on all fronts? That's the main issue that I think a lot of Arsenal fans are looking at. Will they drop out of a competition just to favour one? Hopefully not for them. Hopefully not, because they're going to have to compete. They have a great squad. They have good depth in their squad as well. And look, this season so far, it's being managed. But Arsenal's problems usually fare towards the end of the season. Not really the beginning. It's towards the end of the season. Because they're going deep into competitions. And now they're saying, okay, Cut-off point, Premier League season last year wasn't going well for us. So we favour the Champions League. Season before as well, same thing, favour the Premier League. This is how Arsenal were operating as a team under Arteta. Will Arteta say to the players, okay, every single one of you, we're going to be going for every single trophy this year, regardless of what it is? And you have to just look at Arsenal and say, what can you win, truthfully? Okay, Carabao Cup, I think Arsenal's got it in the bag. If they play their full-strength team from now on, Crystal Palace are no easy feat. Play your full-strength team against Crystal Palace. Then maybe when you get to the later rounds, you play your Man Cities or others, and then play also your strongest team. Get the Carabao Cup under the way, win that, and then build the momentum to go for the FA Cup, the Champions League, or the Premier League. Maybe go for 2 solid trophies this year, including the Carabao Cup. You win the Premier League or the Champions League plus the Carabao Cup. One of those, or you can go back and revert to an FA Cup or the Premier League or so forth. Maybe domestic treble. That is what Arsenal should be aiming for. With the project over the years, with Arteta, they should be aiming for that. So this year needs to be the mission for Arteta to win these trophies with this team. If he doesn't, Arteta needs to go, because they will then find a replacement that could make the team win trophies. Because you're going to see Arsenal fans maybe at the end of the season, if they don't win anything, make more excuses to keep Arteta. Oh, he won the semi-final. Oh, he was 1 point beside, so what? Or he went to the Carabao Cup final. He went to the FA Cup final. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's the trophies you put on the board which counts. And I know a lot of Arsenal fans, they know this as well. It's a trophy thing. You need to win a trophy to make your statement. And if Arteta doesn't win a trophy, then he's going to have major issues come the summer. Trust me on this one. Because there are so many players in this actual team that are sticking by Arsenal. Saka, Saliba. These are the players that I'm looking at, and they need to win trophies. Because we know, as I know as a Real Madrid fan, that Saliba was linked with Real Madrid before then, signing new contracts and so forth. Then, obviously, Saliba probably won't come for X amount of years to a different team. But he's expecting Arsenal to win the trophy this year and to lift something in his grasp. If he doesn't lift something in his grasp, I'm telling you right now, it may be cut very, very short. More shorter than you think. Because Saka also wants to win it as well. Being Arsenal through and through, he needs to win it. And then when you have young players like Nwaneri coming through, Max Dowman, these kind of players also, then they need to win it. Because they're also Arsenal through and through. They need to be part of that kind of movement, that momentum, where Arsenal can go and now win trophy after trophy after trophy. Because I'm sure that you will see a lot of Arsenal fans who maybe doubted Arteta in the beginning, diverting their attention away from it to actually supporting Arteta if they win a trophy. Because then Arteta will have the whole fan base collectively with them, not winning a trophy for so many years, the last one being the FA Cup that Arteta won after inheriting, obviously, Emery's squad. But before that, the Premier League. Come on, 20 plus years. That is ridiculous. For a team of Arsenal's state and the caliber of team that they are, they need to win. They need to win a Premier League. I think they should aim for it. But if they don't achieve that, and look at the situation they're in, at the top, clear. But we've seen Arsenal bottle these leads before, and they don't want to see it again. Arsenal fans do not want to see it again because they will absolutely lose their minds. And Arsenal need to have a trophy inbound this season. Otherwise, it could look very bad for them. But obviously, just going back on today's match, a very decent performance from Arsenal. They showed their quality throughout, especially in the very first half. Obviously, second half, they just sat back. We saw a lot of substitutions from Arsenal, obviously because of the Champions League coming up. We know that. We know that Champions League is coming up, and it is just an opportunity for Arsenal to really make their stamp on the Champions League, make their stamps. But can they beat Bayern Munich towards the end of this month? That's a big question. Can they really go unbeaten in the group stage of the Champions League? If they do beat Bayern Munich, I will see no reason that they can't win the group itself. No reason whatsoever. They have the best defensive record. They haven't even conceded a goal in the Champions League as of yet. They haven't conceded goals in the last 7 games in the Premier League. The Carabao Cup, they're through. They are in heavy contention to win a plethora of trophies this year. But, and there's a big but, I'm telling you right now, December coming up, the string of games, and then towards the new year, that's when it takes its turn. That's when Arsenal, can they really show what they're made of across all competitions, especially towards the start of the new year when the FA Cup starts getting phased in, Premier League, Champions League, Carabao Cup, potentially the final of the Carabao Cup to get their first trophy of the year. It's all just literally trying to go into their hands. And are they in that position to really compete on all fronts? Are they really in the position to compete with the best in Europe? Are they? Who knows? That's up to Arteta. That's up to the team because they have the quality of players. Look at Declan Rice's performance today. If he carries on playing like that, honestly, excellent. Look at Saliba and Gabriel once again. Absolutely outstanding. The defense is incredible. Their defense is absolutely mind-blowing. And they have the best defense in the world of football. That is saying something. No team can chat to Arsenal about defending. No one. No one whatsoever. You can ask maybe, I don't know, Inter on an off occasion if they can defend better than Arsenal, but on consistency, Arsenal are just doing it at every single level. Look how they whitewashed 2 good Spanish teams, Bilbao and Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Absolutely destroyed them, whitewashed them, made it look easy. And Real Madrid, on the other hand, in La Liga, obviously we're playing well, and as a Real Madrid fan, I know this, but if we go to play Bilbao away, I tell you, they're putting a very, very difficult game for us. But Arsenal made it very easy. And it's something that Arsenal fans really need to look at. This is what it is. With December looming, if you're top of the table and you have a big points gap, let's just say 10 points gap, and you don't win the Premier League, that is just worrying signs there in itself. It's happened before. You were on top for plus 90% of the league season, and you still didn't win the Premier League. That is ridiculous. And if Arteta fails again, then he needs to go. That is simple as. You cannot keep a manager that is, I would say, in the word itself, reluctant to win trophies. Because that's what it is. Because the board, I don't see themselves looking at Arsenal and saying, okay, trophies are a must. I see them as literally a cash in their pocket. That's what Arsenal is for these American owners, for the Cronkies. Cash in their pocket. Guaranteed cash. And they don't really care. They don't. I'm telling you right now, they don't. And Arsenal really need to prove themselves, especially in Europe. Because if they do win that Champions League, then it's a different story. The whole story turns on its head. Big time. And it gives Arsenal fans more perspective on what they can really achieve throughout the season. Can they really do their business this season? I have absolutely no idea. It's up to the team. And if the team carry on like this, then I think they can, because they're looking mentally much better, I would say. Their mental fortitude is much better this season, because how can you not even concede shots on target? That's ridiculous in itself. Like, at least one. Obviously, they had a free kick at the end, Burnley, but obviously hit the post. But at least one shot on target. That is ridiculous in itself as a statistic. Madness. But it's all going to be down to Arsenal. It's all going to be down to them. Let's see how they perform throughout the rest of the season, because it is just going to be games where they may not win, but they'll maybe get the point, or if they don't concede at all and it's a 0-0 draw. These are kind of matches where maybe you just do need to take a point at some certain times. Because yes, they lost against Liverpool, but that was just literally a miraculous free kick out of nowhere from Szoboszlai. That's what it was. So Arsenal really need to think. They need to just go into the drawing board and say, okay, we're in this position now. What can we do? What can we achieve? And if Arteta says Carabao Cup or Premier League or Champions League together, then I think Arsenal fans will be happy with that. But guys, take care. All the best. Adios. And, well, I always end my videos with Ala Madri, but take care and have an amazing day. And it's been Arsenal 2, Burnley 0. Take care.